It's been all fun and games for Ron DeSantis and his brand new concentration camp until now, when his credibility just took a gut punch from one of the most powerful men in Florida. Until now, the mainstream media has been happy to dance around the question, when is a concentration camp not a concentration camp? And the answer has been, well, when your right-wing governor says it's not, comes up with a clever nickname to make a joke about the designed cruelty, does a tour with cosplaying Director of Homeland Security and the demented convicted felon who gets to sleep in the White House rather than the cages where he belongs, and gets to joke about it like this.
Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but...
Well, the joke is now officially over because the cruelty has been exposed and the facts speak for themselves. The center has already been flooded and there hasn't even been a storm yet. The federal government is doing more than idly standing by. They are actually cheering on the fact that there is no way this center can withstand a tropical storm, let alone a hurricane. And yet we're supposed to believe that Florida officials are going to heed a storm warning and bus all the detainees out to another facility before a storm hits. It's not going to happen. And yet the mainstream media remains silent. Then there's the treatment of detainees. The Miami Herald is reporting that the calls from Alligator Alcatraz's first detainees brought distressing news. Toilets that didn't flush, temperatures that went from freezing to sweltering, giant bugs, and little or no access to showers or toothbrushes, much less confidential calls with attorneys. And that's not all. Local TV news reported this.
During the call, which was entirely in Spanish, detainees claim they do not have access to water, that they're being given inadequate or moldy food, and they're also being denied religious rights.
And then come the facts. Alligator Alcatraz was supposed to house the worst of the worst. Well, surprise, surprise, that was a lie. Watch.
But a new report published Sunday suggests that may not be the case. Hundreds of immigrants with no criminal charges in the United States are being held at Alligator Alcatraz, according to the investigation by the Miami Herald and the Tampa Bay Times, which obtained records about the migrants being held there. According to the report, Wolf, there are more than 250 people who are listed as having only immigration violations but no criminal convictions who are being held together with those accused and convicted of crimes. The report says only a third, Wolf, of the detainees have criminal convictions with charges that range from attempted murder to illegal re-entry into the United States, as well as traffic violations. The information comes from a list of more than 700 migrants who are either already being held at the tent facility or are scheduled to be transferred there.
But with Trump and MAGA world cheering this on, who is left to step in and do something about protecting these detainees? Certainly not the courts. Trump's favorite Judge Cannon is probably going to store Trump's stolen documents there. So who's going to step in? The Archbishop of Miami, Thomas Wensky, that's who. He just got done calling out the supposedly Catholic meatball Ron DeSantis. The Archbishop called out the cruelty by writing, "We all want to make America great again, but you're not going to make America great by making America mean." Along these lines, much of the current rhetoric is obviously intentionally provocative. It is unbecoming of public officials and corrosive of the common good to speak of the deterrence value of alligators and pythons at the Collier Dade facility. He then went on to say the things that the media is unwilling to say, writing, "We also raise concerns about the isolation of the detention facility, which is far from medical care centers, and the precariousness of the temporary tent structures in the Florida heat and summer thunderstorms, not to mention the challenge of safely protecting detainees in the event of a hurricane." Then the Archbishop took the rug out from the DeSantis tough guy image by writing, "Common decency requires that we remember the individuals being detained are fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters of distressed relatives. We wish to ensure that chaplains and pastoral ministers can serve those in custody to their benefit and that of the staff." And it's not like DeSantis can try and cast the Archbishop as some kind of leftist fanatic. Not only does Archbishop Wensky have the approval of Pope Leo, who is no Trump fan himself, but he's joined by his fellow archbishops in Chicago.
It is wrong to scapegoat those who are here without documents, for indeed they are here due to a broken immigration system.
San Diego, and Detroit. In fact, just yesterday, the Archbishop of Detroit led a march to the ICE facility in downtown Detroit. So if Meatball Ron thinks he's going to be able to ignore Archbishop Wenski and go on his merry way with Alligator Alcatraz, he's got another thing coming. Not surprisingly, Wenski is way smarter than DeSantis, and he's not hesitant to use it. The Archbishop is already engaging in symbolic warfare, precisely by refusing to call it Alligator Alcatraz. And believe me, if there's one thing Catholic archbishops know how to do, it's engage in symbolic warfare. They also know how to lead demonstrations and bring along their flocks. If somehow DeSantis thought this was going to build him back up for another crack at the presidential campaign, then the Archbishop just pulled the rug right out from under him. What DeSantis and all these other right-wing politicians are failing to realize is that the glory days of the Catholic Church turning a blind eye to their cruelty are over. There's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Pope Leo. And he and his deputies, they don't mess. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.